I want to look at how to become indispensable. Hey, make sure that you stay to the end of this video because the third step that you need to take in order to become indispensable is the most important. It is so important that we are effective in our lives. And as we grow more and more in our life, we should become more indispensable. That means that the people around us need us, that they depend on us, and they appreciate the impact and the work that we do. Your boss needs to be somebody that depends on you totally. And if you decide that you're going to leave the company, they would be very heartbroken and want you to stay. Your wife or your husband needs to be somebody who finds you indispensable and cares about you and depends on you and is enriched by your part in their life. So I want to give you 3 steps in order to become indispensable. And you can apply these in your life, and as you get into the second part of your life, to realize that the best is yet to be, because people are depending on you, looking to you, and as you begin to mature and gain some experience, you will have more to offer other people and to be somebody who's indispensable. I recently did a video where I talked about the goals that I have, and one of them is to be professionally indispensable. That is, my goal in my work is so that I would be so dependable, so faithful, so good at my work that my boss, my supervisor, those around me would appreciate me so much that I would be indispensable. And here's the first of the 3 steps that you need to take if you want to be indispensable, and that is just to show up. You know, today it is so often the case that people are not even dependable to show up for work. And part of being indispensable is actually showing up. I really try at all times to be at work. That may sound strange, but I don't make excuses. I don't want to take days off. I want to try to be there every day so that my supervisor and those above me know they can depend on me, know I will be there to do my job. You know, but as we think about being indispensable, it doesn't relate to just our jobs. It relates to every relationship that we have. We need to be indispensable to our spouses. We need to be indispensable to our children. We should be indispensable to our grandchildren. That means that those individuals around us depend on us so much that they can't see doing life without us because of our example and our influence on them and what we offer them. If you're in a marriage relationship, you need to show up every day for your spouse. That means that you need to have that time set aside to be with them, to encourage them in their life, to be around them. We can be so distracted by telephones. We can allow our jobs to consume us to the point where we are not with our spouses as much as we could be, and therefore we fail to be indispensable to them. They get used to us not being around because he's always at work. She's always on her phone. And it's so important if we want to develop those relationships and be indispensable and have that impact that we show up every day, that we understand that we have to be involved in the lives of those that we care about, just like we have to be involved at work and the tasks that we are given there. I tell you, the second step in order to become indispensable is to grow in your knowledge and your skill. And I apply this first of all at work. That is that ever since I've started working at my present company 5 years ago, I have put an effort into growing into my knowledge and skill. There's always something I need to learn. There's always something that I need to refine. There's always something that I need to perfect. And the more that I fine-tune my skills and my knowledge, the more indispensable I'm going to be. I can become a resource for others that are just learning the tasks and the job in order to help them and to train them and to encourage them as they're learning. And this idea of honing your skills and your knowledge and your wisdom is important in every other area of being indispensable. You need to be the very best husband that you can be, and that means that you continually are honing your skills, learning and growing, understanding how you can love your spouse, how you can cherish them, how you can build them up, how you need to respond to them when they're in difficult times. This marriage relationship is something which we either get stuck in a rut and we make the same mistakes over and over, or we look at the struggles that we have in our marriage and we think, I need to upgrade my skills. I need to learn some areas so that I have a greater love and appreciation and encouragement to my spouse. That's increasing your skill and your wisdom and your knowledge. Same thing is true with your children. As you grow as a parent, you need to learn, you need to expand, you need to change the ways that you are treating your children, the ways that you are leading them. You have to refine those skills and that process as you go along in the parenting relationship. And certainly that's true as grandparents. By that time, you should be at a place where you have gained a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of knowledge, and you have become indispensable to your children and to their children, because they look to you for that wisdom. They look to you for that encouragement. You've learned all those things and you have something now to offer them, to build them up and help them along the way. I tell you, the one way that I've gained the greatest knowledge in my skills, not only at work but in my family relationships, is through the Bible. As I've learned to be a husband, as I've learned to be a father, as I've learned to be a grandfather, I've gone back to the Word and studied and looked at the character qualities of a good husband, a good father, a good grandfather. And that Word has helped me to gain insight and understanding so that I have become somebody who has much more to offer and I hope is more indispensable to those around me that I love. Hey, I'd love for you to leave your comments in the section below about what areas you have to work on as being indispensable and other ways that you have found that you can become indispensable and have an impact on others' lives. So we've looked at the idea of just showing up to be indispensable. I suggested the second area was honing your skills and your knowledge. And the third area that I suggest to you as far as being indispensable is your attitude. I'll tell you, if you show up but you have a bad attitude, that you're not going to be indispensable. Your boss, your wife, your kids are not going to be around you if your attitude is really bad. I tell you also that if you want to be indispensable, if you have the skills but you don't have the right attitude, you will not be approachable and people will not come to you for help. So that third area is the idea of the right attitude. We need to go into everything in our life with the right positive attitude. We need to approach every challenge that we have with an attitude of, it's a challenge, this is something I can grow with. I go to work with a positive attitude because of my faith and with an understanding that there's a place for me to encourage people. My benefit to my company, my benefit to my wife, and my encouragement to her is not just my skill and my wisdom that hopefully I have, but it's also my attitude, that I go into my work with a positive attitude. I make a point of encouraging other people and seeing how I can encourage them. This is the same thing I do in my marriage relationship. I think that I'm indispensable with my wife because I'm always encouraging her. I always try to be positive. I always look at the cup as half full rather than the cup as half empty. And this is so key in our professional life and any relationship that we have that positive, expectant attitude and we look forward to the days ahead. This is the whole concept of the best is yet to be, the second part of our life. In our professional life, that we are more proficient, that we are more positive, that we're more committed to our work. In our relationship, that we show up for our marriage relationship, that we are adding that insight and that understanding and that breadth of wisdom. And we have that attitude in which we are attractive and encouraging to our spouse, to our children, and to our grandchildren. I'd also encourage you to subscribe to this channel. That way you'll be notified when new videos come out. I tell you, it's a choice you make that you can be indispensable. It's a choice to show up every day. It's a choice to hone and develop your skills and your knowledge and your wisdom. And it's a choice to have the right attitude. And I'll suggest to you and tell you that if you work on those three areas, that you will be indispensable, that you will be somebody that others come to for help and encouragement. And if that's your choice, your second part of life will be the best that it could be.